Good morning. Come in. We're just starting. So this panel today, I got up early with everybody. You guys got up early with me because y'all dressed up. And this is the Avatar panel. So I'm going to talk about anything and everything in my career book, especially Avatar. And if any questions that you guys have, we can talk about it. Obviously, you guys are Avatar fans. It's kind of a crazy thing, Korra fans. It's all part of the We can talk about Zatara. We get to that. Also, I try not to shit too much because, like, people get very emotionally attached to it. Like they'll write me, like they'll be on my Tumblr, like right in my ass box, being real upset with me for posting like something about Zatara. Zatara week. Yeah, I didn't even realize until like the last minute, like what? And then she's like, it didn't happen that way. I'm like, yeah, but that's the thing, though, right? To try to explain to someone, it's okay. I wrote back to someone like, sometimes when the things that don't happen are just more exciting than the things that do happen. And as you get older, that may get truer. But we can talk about Zatara and your point of view on that, and like, why do you like it, and I'll tell you why I like it. But, so, basically Avatar has been, it's like one of those things in my career where it came out of nowhere. I've been an actor for over 27 years, which is a long time. And I've been fortunate to be a working actor in Los Angeles, Hollywood, for over 2.5 decades. And Wayne's World's in the house. Sorry about that, just a side note. And so, when you're an actor, it's like, friends of mine go, Dante, what happened? Like, how were you able to do like an iconic character in your youth? When I did Rufio and Hook, it became this iconic character. And then all of a sudden, years go by and you're able to do another iconic character like Prince Zuko. And I go, I have no idea. And the crazy thing about those actually two characters is their story arcs are actually very similar. Ironically, which I didn't even think about until later on. They're the presumed bad guy that I was a misunderstood person, and then ultimately through their story arcs they actually become somewhat a hero, And so I guess that's one of the story arcs that a lot of the characters I play in my career. And you don't think about that a lot of actors, but when you look at your career as a whole, you see that you play archetype characters, or at least in my career I've been fortunate to play an archetype character. So with Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is what happened. So I kind of stumbled into voice acting, right? So I'm an on-screen actor, and then I do poetry in Los Angeles, and so I started this place called the Poetry Lounge. I became a pretty popular poet in Los Angeles and in all over America. Yes, you know like poetry? Is that poetry? So I started doing poetry, and then that kind of led to me doing voiceovers. So I did like a, Rufio is in the house. In the Harvard beer, and you're doing it right because you're rocking the mid-trip. If you're gonna do Rufio, you gotta rock the mid-trip. I myself had to do it. I can tell a story about the asshole situation later on. Also.
I'll see you later.
I will. So, like I said, I'm doing poetry in LA, right? And so I'm doing spoken word. I started the biggest open mic venue in Los Angeles about 18 years ago. And so I became like really popular. That was the inspiration for what became Deaf Poetry on HBO. So I became a popular poet. And so I was doing like ads for Nike. I did a whole campaign for Sprite. And I guess somewhere through like doing poems and like my voice, I got into voiceover acting. Cartoon Network did this show called Kitty Bobo, and then they got me for it, and William Morris Endeavor signed my voice. And then I did American Dragon Jake Along, which is it was just a fun, great show in and of itself. And then somewhere in the middle of the third season, I auditioned for another show for Nickelodeon, right? You go to Nickelodeon and they give you this animated script. It's called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it's in the script, I don't even think there was any imagery yet, but you can tell it's an epic, Asian-inspired script, right? But you gotta understand, we were doing this, I think, before you came on, I think we started casting for it and whatnot, close to 8-9 years ago. So this is like, at this time you walk up to Nickelodeon and, you know, it's like a big statue of SpongeBob and Cat Dog and a big poster, right? Like, I mean, this is Nickelodeon back then, and then you get this Asian epic script, and you're like, this ain't Nickelodeon. This is definitely not gonna work. And then I walk in the room, and the character's name is Zuko, and I'm like Danny Zuko? And you just do the reading, right? It's like you don't even think about it. It's like, all right, I just did the character, and I met Mike and Brian, super young back then, creating this Asian epic for a SpongeBob network. That, you know, this is not going to work. And then you book the job. And then you do the first season, you know, I'm like, I'm the bad guy on a teenage Asian wannabe anime show. Whatever. And you're just not thinking about it, because like a lot of times, you know, greatness happens and you're not thinking anything's great about it, right? Somewhere around the second season, a lot of these characters, Katara, Zuko, Aang, it's like the character arcs start becoming really interesting, very kind of like, we all started, even the cast, very emotionally invested in like what's going on in the show though. We'd come in every week like, yo, what happened? Did you read this? This is crazy. And so, it just, little by little, it became like this amazing show for us too as we're doing it. Somewhere around the third season, it started to feel how special it was becoming. And that was even before like really the crowd. We didn't even really, what you gotta understand, like when the first year or two of this came out, there wasn't even Twitter or Facebook back then. Really. Like definitely there's no Twitter. Facebook, there was no real Facebook. There was like MySpace. And so the crowd interaction, like how TV shows are now, in like today's day and age, we didn't have that. I didn't even realize how big a hit Avatar: Last Airbender was. It was like, I was shooting a movie called Take the Lead in Toronto. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and in the middle of doing Take the Lead, I'm on the set with Antonio Banderas and then dancing during the days. And then like one day a week I'd go find like a studio, because I'm still doing like, I think the third or fourth season of the show, 20th season of the show. I'm sneaking off and doing episodes of Avatar. And then one of my cast members is like 19 years old, Brandon, was like, hold on, what are you doing? I'm like, this cartoon I do, it's like, Nickelodeon, it's called Avatar. I play this Prince Zuko dude. And he's like, what? I'm like, that's my shit. He's a big dude on the movie. And so he got super excited, and I'm like, what? Really? You're like, you're like 20 years old, you watch the show? You watching cartoons, man? And he was so excited, and then I ended up bringing him to the studio with me, and like, he's there like watching me do a lot of it. I did some of those epic scenes in Toronto, like in a booth by myself. And so that's when I started feeling like, wow, this show is actually more popular than I even expected. And then by the time like Facebook started happening and Twitter, and then you really are able to feel like the fan response to the work, I got to see like really the impact of this little thing that I had no idea what we were doing.